What's up, Amazon sellers? Have you got a VA and you're worrying about how you can communicate with them effectively? Well, don't worry, because today I'm going to share with you some of the top tips and tricks that we're using in the VA Academy to communicate effectively with our VAs that you too can use in your business. Stay tuned. Hey guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I'm an Amazon arbitrage seller in the UK. I've been selling now for 4 years and recently I just smashed the £1 million mark in the last 12 months. Hashtag excited. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to go through today? First things first, number one, I'm going to go through why is it important to have quality communication with your VA. Number two, I'm going to talk about what are actually the most common communication problems that people face. Number three, I'm going to talk about how you can ensure quality communication with your VA. And finally, number four, I'm going to go through the tools that you can use and that we use to ensure effective communication, obviously with your VA, which tools are going to help you. So let's get started. Right, first things first, number one, why is it important to have quality communication with your VA? According to Deloitte, a massive company who do a lot of surveying, only 23% of executives say that their companies are excellent at aligning their employees' goals with the corporate purpose. Now, the biggest culprit for such a low number is poor communication. Aligning employees' shared core values, purpose, mission, and vision is one of the main tasks of leaders, managers, and internal communication departments to be achieving. Now, another source, Heard Wisdom, revealed that 33% of surveyed employees said that a lack of open communication has the most negative impact on employee morale. That is massive. Therefore, quality communication is critical and more emphasis should be put on clear instructions and conversations to prevent mistakes from happening within the workplace and obviously our teams with VAs. Now, most importantly, it increases loyalty. Employees who believe that managers are really listening to them are almost 5 times more likely to be enthusiastic and 21 times more likely to feel loyal to their company. Just having a great company culture through obviously the actions we take is so powerful. Today we are talking about great communication within our teams, and you know what, having a team is probably one of the most important things I can say to anyone. Now, in my own Amazon journey, we have recently just smashed the £1 million mark, that's about 1.3 million US, over the last 12 months. And how have I been able to achieve that? By having a team who I can communicate effectively with to help achieve my goals, dreams, and ambitions in life. Now, it's that team that has been critical to my success in achieving that 1 million. Now, if you are thinking about building your own team in your Amazon business, there's always one role that you should hire first, and that is a product sourcing VA. Now, you might ask why? Well, quite simply, it's because a product sourcing VA finds deals that you can buy and resell for profit, which brings more value and profit into your business. Now, if you are looking for a product sourcing VA, look no further than the FastTrackFBA VA Academy. This is the service I created whereby we find, hire, train, write the contracts, and support you with 12 weeks worth of support to make sure that you have a team of VAs or a VA that is really going to add value to your business and aligned with your goals. Now, all of this, what does it do? It basically helps you achieve what you're trying to achieve in your business. Whether it be 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, having a team is essential to building that. And if you're looking for it, do look at the FastTrackFBA VA Academy. And what I'll do is I'll drop a link down below where you can book in a free 30-minute consultation call if you want to find out more about this service. Trust me, I think you'll love it. We've placed over 200 VAs in the last 18 months with our clients, and they've come back for not 1, 2, 3, but even 4, 5 VAs at times. So check it out. Trust me, I think you'll like it. That leads me nicely on to number 2. What are the most common communication problems that we see? Well, look, when working remotely, it is inevitable to experience some difficulties faced by clients, i.e. you, and the VAs that can lead to poor communication problems. Now, let's take a look at some of the most common problems that lead to poor communication when working with your VA remotely that we've seen in the Academy. Number 1, cultural differences. You and I and our VAs and your VA live in different parts of the world, and that means that they are growing up with different cultures. Now, why is that a problem? Because this is a different culture for you and I, and obviously your VA, and we talk a different language and different contexts of words, and we have differences in behaviors and gestures. Now, when people belong to different cultures, communication can cause a problem, and as a result, these factors can become barriers if we're not aware of them, and obviously trying to break down those barriers at all times. Now, a good example might be like in America, for example, and in the UK, we're quite open with our speech, especially in America, so they're really open about communicating freely. But if we give you an example, let's say for example in Germany, they are really direct. They're very to the point, and to perhaps maybe in English or German, they might seem quite blunt or quite, could be rude. But maybe even to like an Indian person, they might not have that might not be in their culture. So when someone in Germany speaks to someone, should we say, of an Indian background, they might be like, wow, this person is really rude, and as a result, because how their culture works. So understanding differences in culture and how they work is going to really affect the way communication is interpreted and obviously how we communicate. So just be aware, whether it be England, the US, and even the Philippines, there are differences in communication. Now, quite simply, what does that all mean? Communication shapes culture, and culture shapes communication. And we have different cultures, and so our communication is different. Now that leads me nicely on to number 2, listening skills. Now, when working from home, there are certainly distractions that may become barriers that keep your VA from listening as effectively as maybe you would like them. Distractions can include things like background noise, i.e. dogs barking, babies crying, and even construction workers. That is why active listening is a very important soft skill that you and your VA should always be practicing to support great communication. Now, number 3, written communication quality. Now, this is something super important, something that I'm really aware of. What I'll say is it is all too easy to miss or ignore poorly written communication. It may seem like the least of your worries or the priorities in your business, but these little subtle problems can persist and exacerbate, confuse, doubt, and even create bad feelings within the company. Now, this can all lead into a reduction of morale within the company, project delays, and even the burning of important bridges between members of our team, quite simply just through small mistakes in language which cause confusion. At even a simple level, I'm guilty of this. Sometimes my message is not communicated correctly, and as a result, they either interpret it incorrectly or they do the wrong thing. So quality communication is always key. Now, these are just a few of the hurdles that can affect the quality of communication with your VA. So the one question you might be asking is, hey, how do you overcome these challenges? Well, that leads me nicely onto my 3rd chapter, which is how to ensure quality communication with your VA. So let's go through it now. That's going to really support you with a step-by-step action plan with great tips that are going to help you out. First things first, what do I really recommend? Number 1, set a regular meeting. This is a great opportunity to meet and discuss current issues, where each of the VAs have the opportunity to express their opinion and to discuss what has been done. I do it all the time in my business. Regular meetings facilitate great communication. Number 2, be concise and use simple words. Now, using words that are easy to understand facilitate great communication. Complex words are just hard to interpret and make us have to think. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. You know what? I'm stupid. If you use vague words or sentence structures that are too long or maybe too complex, your VA might not understand the main idea and concept of what you're trying to say. And as a result, you're going to have to spend more time trying to explain. So keep it simple. Now, number 3, listen to what your VA has to say and show empathy. Communication is a two-way process, and no company or individual will survive long if it doesn't actually listen and encourage dialogue with the other party. Listening shows respect and allows you to learn about any outstanding issues and also anything that you may need to address as an employer. Quite simply, in my business, whenever I'm having meetings, if there's 2 people, I'll always try and make sure that we're doing a 50-50 percentage talk, or if there's 3, we're doing 33-33, and I'll always make sure that I'm the last person to speak, so that everyone else doesn't feel swayed by what I've had to say. I'll ask for their opinions first. Now, number 4, keep everyone involved. Ensure that all lines of communication are kept open at all times, and actively seek and encourage progress reports and project updates at all times. Now, this is particularly important when dealing with remote staff. And in my business, pretty much all communication goes through, number 1, group chat so that everyone can see what's going on, and number 2, there are always regular updates, especially in my Amazon business, where they're communicating what they've done for the day and what their results are. I love hearing that feedback every single day. Now, number 5, provide feedback. Now, feedback works in 2 directions. It's not only about me providing feedback to my VA, but also facilitating and encouraging my VA to provide feedback from them about me and how I'm operating. And that's a tricky thing to do. By working to improve your VA's providing feedback to you is really going to help you as a leader improve how you're leading them to get the most out of them, but also as well it means you're going to get better results because you understand what's working for your VA and what's not. So feedback is a 2-way process, and if you can get it right, always be working on it because you will get it right, but it will have such an impact on your business because your VAs will be able to talk to you as well. Now that we've given you a framework and some great top tips for communication, let's talk about the tools that you can use to facilitate great communication. So with the help of today's technology, working remotely with your VAs is made easier than ever before, and with the advancement of communication tools, now you just need a smart device like maybe your computer or even your phone and an internet connection, and voila, you can now communicate with your team anywhere in the world, from anywhere in the world. I know, amazing. Now, depending on your business needs, there are several ways and methods to keep that communication going. In order to help you decide which communication platform or software is suitable for your communication needs, let's go through now a discussion and a comparison of each of the tools and give you some examples of the software and apps a lot of other users use to manage their teams remotely. So first things first, number 1 is email. Now this is one of the most oldest and common types of communication. You know, it's simple, it's accessible, it's cheap, it's fast, and as a result you can deliver, attachments, large files very, very simply, and you can use that to facilitate communication because pretty much every device in the world right now will accept email. So let's do this. Let's have a look at the 3 most common used email platforms: Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and Microsoft Outlook. That's going to help you understand which ones maybe you might want to choose. So I'll drop an overlay around here of a comparison of those 3 email platforms, and you can have a look at that. Now on this overlay, you can see all the 3 different types, and I've tried to give you a bit of a comparison, but I'm not going to go through it. I think everyone pretty much knows about email. The one thing I say is we use Gmail, and actually we use Gmail Workspaces, which is a paid for version. Why? Well, a couple of reasons why we really like it. Number 1, you can link it very easily to a domain, so FastTrackFBA.com, so Thomas at FastTrackFBA.com, for example, which we really like. And Gmail is amazing at indexing and searching attachments across thousands, so many emails. It's just super fast to work. It does have a slightly different labels rather than folders methodology, which once you get your head around actually is really powerful. But the one reason I really like using Gmail is something called email delegation. Now what does this mean? It means quite simply whereby my admin VA, she can access my emails, but I don't need to give her my username and password. And she can also send and reply to emails on my behalf, and it will come to the user, it will look like it from me, so it will say from Thomas Parkinson, but then it will also say sent by the name of my admin VA. And as a result, if I'm ever like, hey, I didn't send that, I can check it and see, she logged in through email delegation and she can do that. So really, really powerful, and I love that functionality of Gmail. We use it all the time, especially when we're managing purchases, getting refunds, lots of different communication, and that delegation is so powerful. Now that leads me nicely on to number 2, instant messaging and collaboration. Quite simply, this method of instant messaging and collaboration allows efficiency and improved communication within your business. Why? Because you can send urgent information to individuals or teams in pretty much real time. Email can be a bit slow. Now, as you type your message, you can also see your VA typing, pretty much like all social media, and before you know it, your questions are going to be asked and also answered, which can help improve your communication and obviously support you in driving pressing matters. Now let's take a look at the instant communication and collaboration tools that you can use. Now quite simply, the ones that most people use are either Microsoft Teams, Slack, and even WhatsApp that we've seen in the VA Academy. So again, I'm going to drop a link around here to all of them. Now I'll give you a quick little rundown. For us in our business, we use Slack. Now, some people do use WhatsApp, but Slack, once you get your head around how it works, is so powerful. Individual communication, group chat communication, share folders, you can do so much with it. And in addition to that, you can have kind of like sub-chats off sub-chats. WhatsApp kind of gets a bit messy when you start having a lot of communication going on, especially when you've got big groups. It just doesn't really work as well individually. Very, very powerful. But Slack, amazing for big teams, and it allows great communication. And also as well, you can run it on mobile. So if you're worried about that, Slack, absolutely amazing. Trust me, I love it. But that leads me nicely on to number 3, video conferencing. Now look, quite simply, it is a good tool to use for remote work because it allows you to have what's known as face-to-face communication with your VA. Now, this ensures you are not losing out any of the true meaning of their words. When we talked about culture differences, visual communication is so key in maybe misunderstanding or getting over misunderstandings and cultural differences. Misunderstandings can easily happen with email, instant messaging, so building face-to-face communication through these tools is so important. In regards to like video conferencing, you can gauge their reactions, how they're feeling through that communication in real time, and it will give you a better sense of what they're trying to say. My God, you are now listening or watching me on YouTube rather than listening to me, so you can see how I'm coming across. Now, tools like these allow you also to as well share your screen and even record as you go, so very, very powerful. So let's have a quick look at some of the common video conferencing tools that people are using that we've seen. Quite simply, we've got Google Meet, Skype, and Zoom. But generally speaking, what do I prefer? I prefer Skype, and we use Skype within my business. Why? Well, really simply the fact that you don't have to worry about creating meetings, logging in. You just load it up, click dial. That's it, it's already saved there in like an address book. Number 2 is the fact that it's free. Oh my God, I love free software. And then number 3 is the fact that when you are on a call, what you can do is you can record in the middle of the call or start recording. You can stop the recording and then maybe start the recording again. And what happens? Each time you stop and start recording creates a new recording file, which is then saved to the cloud for 30 days. And once you finish the call, at the end of that call, like a couple of minutes later, in the Skype chat window, it will say your video recording is now available to download. So everyone who's been on that call will get a copy of it. So it just facilitates not only great communication, but also recording of great communication, maybe like screen shares when you're doing it, which is so powerful. And obviously you can they're backed up for 30 days on the cloud. So if you're like, damn, I forgot, you can just download it. So really simple. And that's why I love it. It just works. Again, KISS, keep it simple. I love simple things. But yeah, Skype is what we use. That leads me nicely onto number 4, presentation and screen recording software. Now look, training is going to be a significant part at the beginning of the working relationship with your VA. However, you don't always have the time to sit down and walk them through each individual task when it's a mutually beneficial time for both of you. And as a result, what you're going to want to do is you're going to need to record what you're doing, and sometimes you'll do that on your own time and share a video with them. Now this is going to create a guide for your tasks and your projects, which is going to build up an inventory of recordings which are going to facilitate you in training and developing your VA and what they need to do. Now, tools that allow you to do this will allow you to record your computer screen along with obviously your video camera and your verbal instructions so that you can share with your VA what is happening. So now let me share with you around here an overlay of some of the tools that you can use. Now, quite simply, in my business, ones we have used before are Screencastify and Loom. Now, for me personally, I use Screencastify, I think because it's only like £25 per month, or per year, sorry, really cheap. Loom's a little bit more expensive, and when I first got into it, I was really watching the pennies. But I do think Loom is a great product, and if you are just starting out, I'd probably look at Loom because they do have a great free package, whereas Screencastify is probably quite limiting. But if you are looking to use a lot of these and maybe look to upgrade, maybe Screencastify becomes a better option. The only other thing which I will say is that when I first started as well, Loom uploads as you go, so as you're recording, whereas Screencastify records locally and then will upload once you've finished. Now, why is this important? Well, if you have internet connection troubles, maybe at times, maybe unstable internet, Loom can suffer problems with that, whereas Screencastify doesn't matter. Your recording is stored locally before an upload. So worked really well for me. But they're both really good bits of software. Do check them out. Now, I've just gone through lots of different options for supporting you in your communication, and, whether it be communicating tasks, assignments, other matters. There's so many different ways you can do that, whether it be through email, through instant messaging, or even through pre-recorded messages. And in my business, we use all of them at various points in time. Really, really helpful. Right, quick question for you guys. I've just talked through some of the tools that I'm using, but I want to hear, what are the tools that you're using that you love? Let me know in the comments down below. Which tools help you have effective communication with your VA? Let me know in the comments down below. Right, I've just talked about face-to-face, I've talked about email and even instant messaging communication. And you know what? All of these are amazing ways to build great communication and trust with your VAs. But sometimes you are going to struggle. Sometimes it's not going to be delivering or building that great lasting relationship. And you know what? That is super, super important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link to a video around here about a video that I created previously, which is called How to Work with Your Virtual Assistant on Day 1. And I'm going to drop that link around here. What does it do? It just helps you build a long-lasting relationship with your VA that's going to support you in the years to come to building great results. And hey, hopefully you too smashing the £1 million mark. So check that out. I think it's going to really help you. But what I will say is, if you have liked this video, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button down below. That's the subscribe button down below. But for me, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.